new session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
There's something called as types of application. Have you heard about that? Types of application.
So can you keep the font size little larger?
Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Let me just make it
Yeah.
more. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So there are types of application. There's something called a stand-alone application. There's something called as client server application, and there's something called as web-based application. So these are the types of application. Application is any software and all, everything we call it as an application. So there are three kinds of application: standalone, client server, and web-based application. So example of a standalone application is, suppose, Notepad, or we take an example of Tally, okay, or MS Excel. So these are what standalone application. Now example of client server application is Google Talk, WhatsApp. These are what client server application. Web based application is like Facebook, uh, Hotmail, Gmail. So all these are what web based application. So in an application, in any application, we should tell like this: in any application there are three things. First is the UI. The UI is the user interface. User interface means front end of the application. User interface means what? Front end of the application. Next is the BI. Some people call it as BL, business logic. Let us call it as BL, business logic, or we can call it as the codes written. And next is the DB, that is the database. This is again separate, okay? So now my question to you is, in an application, there is three things. First is the UI, then is the business logic or the codes written, and the database. So UI is called as, in terms of server, it's called as web server. And BL is called as app server. And DB is called as what? Database server. Okay. So what happens now in an application? There are three parts. Now, if I tell a standalone application, all this UI, BL, and DB will be installed in the client machine. But if it is a client server application, see, if I tell standalone application, let us take the example of standalone, okay? Standalone application, all these things, UI, BL, business logic, and DB will be installed at client's machine, okay? But if I take client server application, see, UI will be installed at client's machine, but the BL and DB will be installed at the server side. Next is the web-based application. Here what happens is all UI, BL and DB is installed where? At the server side. And user can put the URL in the browser to access the application. So what I wanted to tell you is that there are three kind of application. In a standalone application, what is happening is the entire focus is the UI, BL, DB, everything is installed in the client machine. If I'm using an Excel sheet, if I'm using a notepad, so all the software and the code and the database, everything is installed in the client machine. So what will happen is if a test engineer is going to test that application, he has to go to the client machine and do the changes. And next is the client server application. It is installed in two parts. The client side software installed in client's machine and server side software is installed in server's machine. And the application to work, the client and server must interact with each other. That means in the client side, the software which is installed is business logic and the database, and in the user side only the front end is installed. And for the application to work, suppose this is a Google Talk application or WhatsApp application, the client and server must interact with each other. That means if he is sending a message in the user interface, it should go to the server side, and this request, whatever is giving, he should get the response in a very fast way, and the user B should get that message. Next is the web-based application. So in web-based application, what happens is all UI, BL and DB is installed in the server side, and the user can put the URL in the browser to access the application. So if I am using a Facebook application, what will happen? Entire software will be installed in the server machine, and the user will just put the URL in the browser, and then what will happen? He can access the application. So these are three kinds of application. We should always know that what kind of application we are testing or what kind of application this is. So entire application of the world will be, you take any application will be come under this three only. If I take a WhatsApp application, client server application, if I tell a Skype application. So Kirtana, what can be a Skype application?
Skype application, so it is based on the client server application.
Yeah, because the user interface the user is having, but the server side what is happening, the business logic and the database is there. But if I tell you that if a flight booking application is there, suppose Air India is there or any other application is there, then Qatar application is there, then it will be what? It will be a web-based application, because the user can just type the URL in the browser to access that application. Is it clear, the types of application? Tell me yes, no.
Yes.
Okay. So there are three things, right? Web server, then let me just draw a diagram so that it will be more clear. Let me just open the Paint. Okay, this is fine. Let us consider this as web server. Let us consider this as app server. Okay. Let us consider this as database server. or DB server. Is it fine? Tell me yes, no. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so now what will happen is, let me just draw a line. Okay. So here there's a line. Suppose a request is going. Okay. This is fine. Now here we are writing something called as, suppose uh, yeah, here we are writing www.gmail.com. Okay, this is the part. Here I am giving a request called as www.gmail.com. So what will happen is it will go into the app server. Okay, one second. Yeah, it will go into the app server. Now from app server, it will be returned back to the web server, and user will get a login page. User will get what? Here what will come? Login page. Are you able to understand what happened? Tell me yes, no.
Yes.
LP I'm writing. LP means what? Login page. So now what happened? We given www.gmail.com in the browser, the URL we have typed. Do you know what is the full form of URL? Anyone?
Resource locator, but you use, what is it? Resource
Uniform.
locator, uniform resource locator.
Yeah. So all of you should know that is uniform resource locator. So here we are typing the URL in the browser and it's go to the app server. App server means what? All the codes are written. Web server means what? Is the front end of the application. Database server means all the data are stored in the form of tables. Now what will happen? We have given www.gmail.com. What happened? It went to the app server. App server returned back to the web server and we got the login page. Now next. So next is, suppose I am writing a next request. Yeah. So point number 2. So this is suppose point number 2. So here I am writing what? Point number 2, and that yeah, this is point number 2. Now I will write here the details of point number 2 because I'm not having the space there. So what I'm writing in point number 2 is I am entering enter username and password and click on OK button. Okay, enter valid. Actually, I should write what? Enter valid. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one thing I will tell you, after 40 minutes, if my class gets over, just open the URL, same URL again, and without any discussion. Is it clear with all of you three?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there should not be any discussion. Just log in into the application again. So now this point number 2 is from where? Here I'm writing what? Enter valid username password, click on OK button. After entering valid username password and click on OK button, it will go to the app server. Okay. And from app server, it will go to the database for the validation that the actual correct user is there or not. If it is that username is not verified, then it will not come back, right? So it will be verified from the database server. From database server, it will come to the app server, and from app server, it will come to what? Web server. And if it is coming into the web server, what we will get? If it is coming into web server, the end thing what a user will get is what? Home page. What he will get here? Home page. Right. If we give a valid username password and click on OK button, what happens? Home page come or not? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I'm just writing HP. That means home page will come. So now my question to you is, then when I enter www.gmail.com, it did not went to the database server. But when I'm entering username, password and all, then it is going to the database server. Why is this happening?
Because we are giving the data in the database server in the form of tables. So
that data will
Tell me.
so automatically the request we are giving us when we click on login, it goes to the database server as a request, and we are giving us a username and password. Then
No,
we're getting home page.
why it did not went for www.gmail.com? Because this is not unique for a user. www.worldwideweb.gmail.com is a generic thing from anyone, whether I, whether you, whether anyone in this world. If he types this URL in the browser, he will get a login page. So it is not a specific for a particular user, but this username password is a specific for a particular user. If Kirtana is using this application, so you'll have a different username and password from others, and that should be valid, and that is stored where? In the database server. Am I clear? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, sir.
So if you tell me like this, if I give a point number 3, like similarly in the third point, if I give, tell me what will happen. Click on inbox. If I click on inbox, so if it is a third request going, click on inbox. Will it go to the app server? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, it will go to the app server.
Will it go to the database server?
No.
No, unless.
Because we are not giving any data in the database server. That is according to the user.
So both of you are wrong, right? It will go to the
No.
database server. Because
Okay, okay.
in inbox we will have a mail which is specific to a particular user. Are you able to understand?
Okay,
This
okay.
mail is specific to a particular user. You are having a mail which the other person will not have. Are you able to understand? You have to
Okay, okay.
understand which is the thing which is specific to the user and which is a generic thing. Now, next question is, so what will happen is here is click on inbox, it will go to the app server, it will go to the DB server, it will validate from DB server, it will come back to app server, from app server, it will come to the web server, and then what will happen here is mails will be displayed. My next topic is, if I write point number 4, click on logout. So what will happen if I click on logout? It will go to the app server, and it won't go to the DB server, because if I am getting logout, it will give me what? Login page. So no validation is required. So it will go to the app server, from app server, it will come to the web server, and we will get again what? Login page. Are you able to understand what is web server?
Yes.
What is app server? What is database server? Web server is the front end, app server is the course written, DB server is the data which is present. So all these are interconnected, and you should know the types of application. Are you able to understand? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Excellent. Web server, app server, 2801 21. Great. Now, if you have understood till this much, web server, app server, and database server, so let us learn this something called as, let me just open this, something called as, have you heard about dev environment? There is something called as QA environment. There is something called as pre-production environment, and there is something called as production environment. Okay, let us just have some idea on these things also. Okay, there is something called as dev environment. It will be used by the developers. There is something called as yeah, there is something called as QA environment. That means the testing environment. Okay, so this is something called as QA environment or testing environment. So this meeting will be end in 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, this meeting will be ended. So you will join again. So next is QA environment. Next is pre-production environment. And then next is the pre-production environment. And last is what? Production environment. Last is what? production environment. So what happens is this dev environment is used by the developers. It will be used by whom? Developers. And this QA environment will be used by whom? By the test engineers. See, I told you a definition of QA, quality assurance, review process. If you remember V&V model, there is something called as quality analyst. So quality analyst means the test engineer is also called as quality analyst. So that is separate. So there is two meaning of QA. One is quality assurance, that is a review process. One is QA means quality analyst, that is a test engineer. So this is fine. Next is pre-production environment. Pre-production environment is again he is going to be tested by the test engineer. And last is the production environment that will be used by the end users. It will be used by the end users.
End user.
Yeah, so this is fine. So developers, what they are going to do is, see now any application, if we get a application developed, we will test the application in the, see now there is something called as configuration. Okay, so we have to learn there's something called as configuration. Hardware and software configuration. That means what? If I tell hardware configuration means RAM, suppose RAM is 4 GB in a test engineer machine, hard disk is 500 GB and processor is i5 processor. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is what is the test engineer configuration. But if I tell a pre-production environment, it will be similar to production environment. That means what? It will be something that the production environment is a huge environment. It will be used by end users. So that will be a huge environment. Let me just take this production environment. So here what will happen in production environment is the RAM will be around 20 terabyte and hard disk will be suppose 20 petabyte. Okay, and then multiple processors. Okay, so this is the production environment configuration. Here the configuration is made similar to the production environment. So here the configuration will be like this. Here it will be RAM will be suppose 15 terabyte and hard disk will be 15 petabyte and then multiple processor. So and then the this is hardware configuration, and software configuration means the browser what we use, the operating system what we use. Here also the browser and operating system, here also browser and operating system. So this is fine. So now okay, so browser what we can use? We can use a particular browser. Suppose browser is Chrome, some version is there 21.0, OS is suppose Windows 7, and pre-production is suppose in the production we have to test for Chrome and Windows 7. We have to test for Chrome browser 21.0 and we have to also test for OS Windows 7. Okay, so in this stage we will do something called as functional testing and integration testing, and the end-to-end testing will be done in the pre-production environment. That is what is called as system testing. So now developer developed an application. We are test engineer. We tested in QA environment, and in this we are doing the functional testing and integration testing. And this is the pre-production environment. Pre-production environment, which is similar to the production environment. And at this stage, we will do something called as system testing. That means end to end, we will test in the pre-production environment. Pre-production environment or staging environment is an environment which is similar to the production environment. And here the hardware and software configuration is made similar to production environment. And what happens at this stage, we will do system testing. So functional integration regress we did here, and what we did end to end we have tested where? In the pre-production environment before handing it to the production environment where the end user will use the application. Okay. So now what happened in pre-production environment? We are only doing the system testing. So what is system testing? Testing the end-to-end flow of an application is called as system testing. In system testing, the testing environment is similar to production environment. Environment means the hardware and software configuration is made similar to what? Production environment. Hardware configuration is the RAM, hard disks and all, processor and all. And software configuration means the Chrome, the operating system, the browser and all those things are made similar to what? Production environment. Are you clear about this environment? QA environment, pre-production environment, production environment. Are you clear? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, sir.
So what happens in QA environment? The test engineer will test the application, and here also test engineer will test the application, but he will only do the system testing. So now after, if you have known all these things, we will learn a fresh topic called as smoke testing. We'll do something called as smoke testing. So let me just save this notepad. Okay. Send you this notepad. Types of application and smoke testing 280121. Okay. Now smoke testing doesn't mean that person will start smoking and he will start testing. Okay. So that is not a smoke testing. Smoke testing means what happens if an application is coming. It is also called as what? You know, smoke testing is also called as build verification testing. Some people call it as dry run testing, so that is also correct. Some people call it as sanity testing, so that is also correct, but there's some difference between smoke and sanity testing that we will learn later. So smoke testing is, you just tell smoke testing is also called as build verification testing or dry run testing. Sanity testing, some people call it, but sanity testing is a different testing, and there's a separate difference between smoke testing and sanity testing, which we will discuss. So smoke testing, build verification testing or dry run testing. So what happens in smoke testing is we are going to test the basic and critical feature of the application. Testing the basic and critical features of an application is called as smoke testing. Testing the basic and critical feature of an application is called as smoke testing. Suppose if I tell, let us do smoke testing on Gmail page. So what we will do is we'll first test the login page with positive values, then we'll click on inbox, and then we will click on compose, sent, then we'll test the draft, then we'll test the thresh, and then we'll test the logout. So what is happening in smoke testing is we'll only test for the positive value.